Yesterday, Donald Trump and Elon Musk acted like a couple of drunken honky-tonk broads arguing over who's got the better badonkadonk. Congratulations, fellas. You made the list. You didn't just make the list. You are the list tonight. What an embarrassment. They were hurling insults, threatening each other. Elon Musk accused Donald Trump of being on the Epstein list. Donald Trump then threatened to take away Elon Musk's space contracts from the United States. Look, I love these guys, both of them. I really do. They're imperfect, but there's nobody perfect. I don't want to hear it. Give me a break, except for Jesus. I love them, but I'm mad at them. And we all should be, because this was a national embarrassment. We couldn't have made Democrats any happier. They were all like clinking their champagne glasses. They hate these guys so much. And to watch them arguing with each other in real time, in public, was the best gift we could have possibly given them. It was undignified. It was childish. Again, it was embarrassing. And we should hold ourselves and our leaders to much higher standards than what we saw yesterday. I'm hoping that there are going to be some silver linings that come out of this. Let's break it down. I want to start by talking about the fact that so many people are saying that this whole thing, there goes my desk on its own. That so many people are saying that this here is a staged event, right? That they faked the whole thing just to get us all talking about this big bill. The arguments in favor of that theory are that if Elon is separated from Trump, and they argue that maybe it would benefit Tesla, and that Democrats would feel, like they don't have to sell their Teslas or burn Tesla dealerships anymore. Another theory is that if Elon again is separated from Trump, maybe that then Democrats will get behind Elon's waste, fraud, and abuse cuts, which is never going to happen. They are all the Congress is lining their pockets, and they're going to continue to feed their minions the talking point that there is no waste, fraud, or abuse, and that the starving children in Timbuktu are going to all die because of Elon's cuts. So that's not going to happen. Then maybe the theory that this is all staged is, supported a little bit by the argument that this puts more pressure on Congress, to change the bill so that Trump and Elon both get what they want. But even that doesn't hold up, and we can prove that. But here's why it is not staged for sure. I would fall over dead if I found out that this was staged for this reason. There is no way that Trump or anyone would be in their right minds, would be sick enough to say, yeah, okay, we're going to stage a fight. We're going to pretend argue. We're going to get everybody talking about this. It's going to be so good. And, oh yeah, as part of the fight, you accuse me of being on the Epstein list. Like no one in their right mind, not saying Trump is in his right mind all the time, which is kind of what I love about him, but he is smart and he knows better than to drag himself through that mud. There's no way he would do it. So people who are saying this is staged, give me a break. This is no more intelligent of a theory than the one with the liberals who said that Donald Trump staged his assassination attempt back in July. Like he was sitting around a boardroom and said, okay, we need some more sympathy from the voters. And, I just think this campaign needs a boost. Why don't you have somebody shoot at my head? And have them like, just miss. But we still gotta make it look real, because that's not real enough. Somebody shooting at my head. So how about we make sure that somebody in the audience dies? Find a guy with a family and make sure a bullet hits him too. Yeah, he staged that. Are you kidding? Whether you're like staging a real assassination is absurd. Staging a character assassination of Epstein levels is also absurd. This was a real fight, and I will stake everything on it. That said, I'm going to take you through what happened yesterday. I'm going to skip over some irrelevant or less important tweets, otherwise we'd be here all night. But let's start around noontime yesterday, June 5th. At 11:57 a.m., Elon retweeted Trump's tweets from 2012 and 2013, in which Donald Trump was talking about the national debt. In 2012, Donald Trump said, no member of Congress should be eligible for re-election if our country's budget is not balanced. Deficits not allowed. Gee, I like that idea. I mean, I would think any taxpayer would like that. There isn't an American citizen who doesn't want to be completely out of debt. And then in 2013, Trump said, I cannot believe the Republicans are extending the debt ceiling. I am a Republican and I am embarrassed. And when Musk retweeted that yesterday, he said, wise words. Well, it's very different from what Donald Trump said in 2012 and 2013 is very different from this big, beautiful bill, which is raising the debt ceiling by $4 billion. So the way I heard, I think it was Rand Paul was, doing an interview saying, if you give your teenager a credit card for emergencies and it's got a $2,000 limit and they rack it up like immediately on junk, you take the credit card away. You don't go and raise the limit on it to 10,000 when they've proven that they can't be responsible with the money that they had. And that's what Congress keeps doing. They just keep saying, oh no, we can take on more debt. We can take on more debt. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Like 30 some odd trillion dollars in debt. And when we're not getting anywhere near paying it back. In fact, every year, all we do is pay back interest. We don't even pay it down. That's how irresponsible our Congress is with our money. Anyway, at 12:19 yesterday, Elon tweeted about the big, beautiful bill and criticizing the pork in it. And in part of that tweet, he said, in the entire history of civilization, there has never been legislation that's both big and beautiful. Everyone knows this. Either you get a big and ugly bill or a slim and beautiful bill. Slim and beautiful is the way. As with human beings, so it is with bills. Slim and beautiful is the way if you have the option. Before this, Elon Musk has been criticizing the bill. He has been criticizing the debt. He's been trying to uncover fraud, waste, and abuse. And Congress has not been doing anything to codify the Doge fraud, waste, and abuse. It's unbelievable. Oh, you don't want to hear? Somebody here in the comments, Lorraine in the comments doesn't want to hear. Yeah, it's hard to hear how bad we've had it stuck to us. While we were playing Candy Crush and watching Netflix, our politicians screwed us over so royally. It's troubling. It's troubling, and it's our own damn fault. But anyway, at 1:25 p.m., Donald Trump on Truth Social said something about how the debt ceiling is bad. He agrees with Elizabeth Warren, of all people, because she had posted about raising the debt ceiling being bad. And Trump was like, yeah, it's really bad raising the debt ceiling. I agree. But he's doing it anyway by pushing this big, beautiful bill. So it's like, it's bad. But like, there's got to be a better way. Oh, I was talking about how, Elon, all this work he did to uncover all this ridiculous, fraudulent, wasteful spending, and Congress isn't codifying it. So he's at his wit's end at this point. That's what led up to yesterday's just snapperoo with Elon. I mean, I feel for the guy. I can't imagine putting my whole life on hold, doing everything I could, taking hits worth billions of dollars to my businesses, and then having the people I deliver this magical, wondrous treasure trove of knowledge to go, oh man, that's something, and then just keep moving and not do anything about it. Elon's trying here. I can't look at this picture anymore. So then at 1:57, Trump tweets again. Well, tweets on Truth again, because he doesn't tweet. He just goes on Truth Social. He reposts a message about Elon that Trump had written on May 28th. As my scheduled time as a special government employee comes to an end, I would like to thank Elon wrote this. I would like to thank President real Donald Trump for the opportunity to reduce wasteful spending. The Doge mission will only strengthen over time as it becomes a way of life throughout government. So I think that Trump was trying to like point out like, oh, look, 5 minutes ago, Elon was, grateful and happy. And now he's sticking it to me. But this is just the beginning. This isn't even where he went off the rails. So in the middle of Trump putting up these tweets, Elon and all of this, Elon is banging out a series of tweets calling out specific members of Congress for their stances on debt and the debt ceiling. And they talk out of both sides of their mouths, and in the past, they're like, debt's bad. We got to reduce spending, reduce debt. We can't raise the debt ceiling. And then all of them over here are supporting this big, beautiful bill, which increases spending and increases the debt. And it does plenty of good things too. It is not all about that. And I know I'm not trying to paint a picture of this bill as if it's all bad. It just needs amendments. It can be pretty good. So one example of Elon calling out congressmen, he calls out Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. In 2023, Johnson said this: the federal debt has just topped $31.4 trillion. And the Congressional Budget Office now estimates federal spending for fiscal year 23 will total $6.2 trillion, more than $197,000 per second. This is not sustainable. And there's all exclamation points all over it. And it's like, so when Biden was president, you were all over reducing the debt and curbing spending and not raising the debt ceiling. But now that you're the Speaker of the House and you're in charge, it's okay to raise the debt ceiling. It's okay to spend more money. What are you doing, Johnson? You have an honorary place on my list this week. You should be working. You should be doing everything to codify Doge cuts and cut all kinds of wasteful spending, everything down to the penny. We have had it with what you guys do. And all your pockets being lined. Yeah, we know what's up. So Elon's tweets now, this is where they really start escalating. They're getting increasingly antagonistic. At 2:36 p.m., he tweets about how much interest we pay on our national debt. So per the Treasury Department, in 2014, we paid $416 billion just in interest. $416 billion just in interest. Oh my God, if I get like a $3 interest charge on my Kohl's card, I kick myself for not paying it off or forgetting to pay it off. Are you kidding me? $416 billion. But wait, in 2024, we paid $1.13 trillion to our debtors just in interest. Just in interest, over $1 trillion. These people cannot manage anything. These people could not manage a hot dog stand, never mind a nation of 330 million people. I am fed up to here. I understand Elon's frustration. I understand that Trump is just trying to work within the confines of what he has. But I don't understand. You got the House, you got the Senate. Work it out, man. This is only got another year and a half before the November 2026 midterms. We don't know if we're going to keep the majority in the House and the Senate. Get it done now. I don't know. I just figure it out. You're supposed to be the smartest people, in the country. I mean, we know that's not true, but because really the smartest people in the country don't want anything to do with this. They don't want to run for Congress and have their family dragged through the mud. And every year in between 2014 and 2024, that interest only payment on our debt has gone up almost every year. There were a couple of years where it went down like a smidge. You wonder why most Americans don't have any extra money. So at 2:37, Trump, now he's feeling the pressure. Elon's getting it out there. And Elon's tweets have like I don't know, sometimes hundreds of millions of views on Twitter. Like, it's not like it's just me out here going, oh my God, the debt ceiling. Like, this is Elon Musk. He is one of the loudest voices on earth, and he's antagonizing Trump's bill and putting American sentiment, trying to put American sentiment against the bill so that he can try to save us economically. So 237, Trump writes to back-to-back Truth Socials. He says the easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it. Like, that was childish and petty and escalating. I was pretty disappointed in my president at that moment. Doesn't mean I like him any less. Doesn't mean I support him any less. Don't get excited if there's any liberals in here watching. It's not how it works. I can be mad at somebody and still love them. It happens in my family. It happens in politics. It happens in all areas of my life. Here, I'm annoyed with him. It just shouldn't have been said. Also at 237, back to back, he said Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate, electric vehicle mandate, that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, that he knew for months I was going to do. And he just went crazy. Clearly, this is not what this is about. This is about debt and spending. And Elon has been very clear about that. And in the past, Elon has even said things like, you can get rid of the electric vehicle tax credit. Like, I don't need it. We don't need it. It's not good for the country. Like, it's just more wasteful spending by the government. I mean, and Elon, even before that, had reposted his stance on the EV tax credit, just to make it clear that that wasn't, what he was going for. And this is where Elon saw that and just went nuclear. This is nuclear. 3:10 p.m. Elon tweets, time to drop the really big bomb. Real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT. Oh my God. Now, when I saw that, because I'm watching this thing in real time, like millions of us were on Twitter, it was like, I couldn't process it properly all at once. And I've since, come to grips with it. But at first I was like, well, if I find out that anybody, I don't care who it was, assaulted, raped young girls on Epstein Island, like, they're dead to me. I don't care who it was. Like, of course, Donald Trump, anybody. But in reality, in thinking about it, in really taking time with it and batting it around, like, I don't think it's true. And I'll tell you why. Here's one thing that happened. David Schoen, who was Epstein's lead criminal defense attorney, he tweeted almost immediately, hey, listen, everybody, I was Epstein's lead guy. I flat out asked him if Donald Trump was ever, involved in any of this, and Epstein denied it. And this guy has no reason to say that whatsoever. I mean, unless he has a reason that I don't know about. Then there's just the reality that if Donald Trump, so then people were saying, like, if Donald Trump was on the Epstein list, it would have been released. The Democrats would have completely released it. And then other people were saying, like, no, they wouldn't have, because they were all on it too, so they couldn't have. But Matt Walsh put out a good tweet about how, listen, if they would have done anything to destroy Donald Trump, if he was on it, they would have simply redacted any incriminating information on Democrats, and they would have released whatever they could about Donald Trump being part of the Epstein scandal. And he wasn't. So they didn't, because they would have absolutely, undoubtedly used that. And I totally agree with Matt Walsh. There was no way Trump is on this list. And I don't know what made Elon go nuclear and say that. I really don't. I mean, we know that Trump and Epstein knew each other. We know that they've been to parties together where there were just loads of celebrities. And there were, Epstein was very well connected. Very well connected. What do you got here? We got Amber in the comments says, as a crunchy mom, I voted Trump because he was found guilty of felonies in a criminal trial and was found liable for sexual abuse and business fraud in civil trials. I like all of that stuff. That's stupid. Why have the stock markets lost value since Trump inauguration? The Dow Jones average. Oh, please, girl. It's things are doing great. You know it is. You can come in here as a troll, say whatever you want about him being guilty of sexual abuse accused by a lunatic who couldn't even remember any of the details. I'm not going down these roads with you. Get lost, Amber. So anyway, so somewhere between his last tweet and around 4 o'clock, Donald Trump got some good advice after he said, I'm going to take away his, government contracts, blah, blah, blah. He got some good advice, and he didn't say anything for a while, and he settled it down and he tamped it down. At 4:06 p.m., he did say Elon should have turned. He said, I don't mind Elon turning against me, but he should have done so months ago. This is one of the greatest bills ever presented to Congress. It's a record cut in expenses, $1.6 trillion, and the biggest tax cut ever given. So he just came back to center and said, I'm just going to promote this bill. I'm just going to come out here and say all the good things that this bill is going to do, even though we kind of know it's not a perfect bill. If this bill doesn't pass, there will be a 68% tax increase and things far worse than that. I didn't create this mess. I'm just here to fix it. This puts our country on a path of greatness, make America great again. It is true he did not create this mess. The Biden administration was fiscally disastrous, and every administration before that was fiscally disastrous. And Trump really didn't have time in his first administration because they hit him with the pandemic, or the scamdemic, as we should say. So the 68% tax increase, I don't think that's how it sounds. I tried to figure out what it was. I think the number is wrong. He misspoke or is confused. I'm not sure. It doesn't really matter. It most likely means the number of Americans who will be impacted if one of the bill's objectives isn't met. The big, beautiful bill aims to extend the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. And that those were tax cuts that we all received. If it's not extended, our taxes will go up. So yeah, I don't think that right now we should have more tax cuts, new tax cuts, but maintaining existing tax cuts. Yes, we certainly shouldn't have our taxes go up. But the reason I don't think we should have tax cuts right now is because we as a country don't deserve tax cuts. Again, we were watching Netflix and playing Candy Crush while we let Republicans and Democrats across the board destroy us financially. Then finally at 4:09 p.m., Elon goes back about the space thing, and he says that he's going to begin, since Donald Trump wants to take away our contracts, we're going to begin decommissioning Dragon immediately. Like, stop it, you children. Then 4:11, Elon retweets that Trump should be impeached and replaced by Vance. Like, rein it in, Elon. Rein it in. Was there nobody there calming him down? Because I got to give credit to Trump. He calmed down really quickly. He said his one obnoxious thing about, the space contracts. And then he clearly pulled himself together or took good advice. Now, meanwhile, Elon is somewhere tweeting like a lunatic. Then at 4:14, Elon retweeted a piece in which a New York Magazine piece from 2002 in which Donald Trump called Epstein a terrific guy. Yeah, Epstein was a terrific guy. He threw parties. He was at parties. He was nice. He was, apparently had a great personality. I personally never. Yeah, I don't know him. I was just going to say, I know somebody that did some really bad things that if you met, you would be like, wow, that guy is so charming and nice. Yeah, he was. Just happened to also be a psychopath. And that happens. Ted Bundy was charming. 4:43, Elon tweets a video of Trump with Epstein at a 1992 party. Again, Epstein partied with everybody. That was his jam. He had access. That's how he made all his money. Now, at the end of the day, these guys, they're both right and they're both wrong. Elon is is right about the budget. We're going off a cliff. I can't believe we haven't gone off the cliff yet. I didn't like his approach. I think as a citizen, he has every right to criticize the bill and our elected officials on his on his public platform. Of course he does. But, throwing in the Epstein thing, saying that Trump should be impeached. It was just all very emotional and over the top. In his defense, I can't imagine doing the amount of work he did and not getting emotional. But come on, Elon, you could have done better there. Trump, he was doing what he could with a bad situation. He's doing what he can with a bad situation. He just doesn't have the support he needs in Congress. So he's taking wins and losses together in this bill. And he has to sell it to the American people. So that's what he's trying to do. Again, I'm glad that he measured himself a little bit and reined it in. This was a very embarrassing day for America, for Republicans, for Trump, for Elon. And I think there may be able, to be some silver linings that come out of this, though. Maybe the bill, one silver lining would be that the bill would fail, and then we'll go back, cut some spending, make things actually better for the American people, and then come back to the table a healthier, slimmer bill, as Elon wants. That would be the best case scenario for all of us. We have to reduce the deficit. I think we have to keep revenue the same for now, and like I said, keep those existing tax cuts, but no new ones. Reduce spending. Like no more grants to every Tom, Dick, and Harry who wants one. Nonprofits getting grants. Listen, if you can't make it in the marketplace, if what you're doing isn't valuable enough to survive in the free market, then maybe you deserve to shut down. I shouldn't have to chip in for that. If I want to donate to a nonprofit, I will. Foreign handouts, cut them out. We got to clean up our own house, get our own house in order. And then when we have abundance again, we can start being more generous again. Cutting back on welfare. We've got people perfectly able-minded, able-bodied, sitting home, collecting giant welfare checks in free housing, with free healthcare, with free everything. Enough of that. It's time for everybody, organizations, nations, and Americans, to start pulling themselves up by their own bootstraps. I'm not talking about the disabled and, people who are in really dire straits. You know who I'm talking about. Everybody knows somebody that's on welfare, living in free housing, free everything, who is perfectly capable of providing for themselves if they wanted to. We all need to start pulling our own weight, all of us. And maybe, just maybe, we can fix this. Although after yesterday, it isn't looking too great. Fellas, next time you want to act like that, give me a call. I'll smack you both upside the head. And then you can go to your room and calm down and come back and act like gentlemen, act like diplomats, act like leaders. Because yesterday, shame on everybody for that. But I still love you. All right. Thank you all for coming tonight. Hope you have a great night. God bless you, and God bless America.